Hey folks, welcome to another smartphone comparison video. Today we're going to be comparing the Motorola Droid Razr to the new Samsung Galaxy Nexus. Alright, two high-end smartphones, both available on the Verizon network. So getting started here, as far as processors go, they're actually very close to identical. They use a very slightly different model of TI OMAP processors, but they're both running 1.2 gigahertz dual core processors, so they have lots and lots of processing power. They're both very fast. They're not going to get bogged down by running multiple applications or multitasking or anything like that. In terms of memory, the Droid Razr has 16 gigabytes of internal memory and 16 gigabytes in a micro SD card that is included. You get the same amount of memory with the Samsung Galaxy Nexus. It's all 32 gigabytes. It's all internal though, no micro SD card. The Droid Razr would be expandable to a 32 gigabyte micro SD card, whereas with the Galaxy Nexus, you're getting 32 gigabytes, no more, no less. As far as RAM goes, they're both running a gigabyte of RAM. Again, so it gives them plenty of processing power, plenty of multitasking power there. So nothing to see there, I guess. As far as operating systems go, this is one difference that they currently have, though it's not one that will probably be different for much longer. The operating system that the Droid Razr has is running Android 2.3.5, so it's Android Gingerbread, and an update to Ice Cream Sandwich is coming in early 2012, and the Galaxy Nexus, this is running stock Android, so it has Ice Cream Sandwich and Android 4.0 right now, and it's running it. So there are some enhancements and that they made to the operating system for Android 4.0. I won't go over all of those here. You can view them though in my Android versus iOS 5 video that I recorded. It shows some of the differences there if you're really curious. So operating systems are currently a little different, though the Droid Razr will be getting an update in the near future. As far as connectivity, both are very fast, have 4G LTE capabilities, which is fantastically fast for downloading if you live in an area, but it kills battery life. So that's kind of the big knock on LTE connectivity right now, is that it just drains batteries like crazy. So if you're not living in an area with LTE and service, turn off that particular feature. You can download an app that'll toggle the switch for you, so you can turn it just to CDMA mode, so it saves battery life, lasts a little longer for you. As far as display goes, they're both big displays. All right, the Droid Razr has a 4.3-inch Super AMOLED screen. Has a 960 by 480 resolution, so that would be about the same as, not quite as high as the iPhone has, but yeah, pretty close. The pixel density is a little lower than an iPhone because it's got a much bigger screen for that particular resolution. The Galaxy Nexus has an even bigger screen, 4.65 inches. Has a Super AMOLED screen as well, but it has a contoured display, which means it's slightly curved. And it has a high definition screen, 1280 by 720, and a pixel density on a large screen that rivals that of the iPhone 4S and the iPhone 4. So one thing I'd recommend here, if you don't have large hands, using these bigger screens can be difficult to make gestures with your thumbs. If you're trying to go from corner to corner on the screen, it's actually kind of difficult, even on a 4.3 inch, harder even still on a 4.65 inch. So it doesn't come into play a lot. For the most part, it won't happen, but sometimes during a game or something, you need to be able to take your thumb across the whole screen, and you can't reach it with just one hand. Just one thing to keep in mind with these displays. They are, however, fantastic for other types of games, for watching movies, reading, and watching videos, all that kind of stuff. The bigger screens are fantastic, and since both are actually fairly thin in, as far as form factor goes, the Droid Razr being especially thin, they do fit in your pocket fairly well. As far as battery goes, neither is very good at battery life. The Droid Razr is better at battery life, even though it has a smaller rated battery, but the gigantic screen and LTE antennas are proving to be just a little bit much, and Android 4.0 still has some optimization to do in terms of power usage. So right now, you're going to get a lot better battery life using the Droid Razr, though it's still not great. So you can probably get, a day's worth out of it using it on and off, but you're still going to need to charge it at night. And if you're using it a lot during the day, make sure you keep a charger handy. As far as weight goes, they're actually both pretty light phones. 4.5 ounces for the Droid Razr, and it's got that very thin form factor. It's designed to be, it has a big screen but small otherwise. The Galaxy Nexus is a little thicker, it's a little heavier, and it does use more plastic than, say, some of the Kevlar coatings and stuff and the aluminum. So from a feel standpoint, the Droid Razr is going to feel like a better built phone, whereas the Galaxy Nexus, despite the fact that it is a premium phone and is a good phone, can feel a little bit on the cheap side. It's just kind of one person's opinion on that, but that's just how I look at it. As far as cameras go, they both actually have pretty good cameras. All right. The Droid Razr has a bigger megapixel rating in the rear, 8 megapixels, has LED flash, has a front-facing camera, and can record in 1080p. However, a lot of people are saying that the Galaxy Nexus takes better pictures, mostly because of upgrades to how the camera is used and some enhancements built into the ice cream sandwich operating system itself. For example, it can do panorama shots and stitch them together as you take it. That's one thing that's been built into the operating system. It's also the shutter leg, so it takes pictures much faster. The shutter leg is gone, which is nice when you got to capture something quickly. However, in the Galaxy Nexus, it is a smaller camera, megapixel camera, only 5 megapixels. It still has a front-facing camera and 1080p video recording. You're probably, for the most part, not going to see a huge difference in terms of photo quality, but both cameras are perfectly serviceable and much better than camera phones in past generations for smartphones. Not quite up to a dedicated digital camera yet, and not anywhere close to a digital SLR, but they're getting much better and can certainly function as a camera, and it's always in your pocket. As far as NFC goes, we're talking near field communications. That's the little chip that allows, that's kind of for enabling mobile payments, Android Beam, which you can touch two enabled phones together in the back and they can share information. Basically, it's a way to communicate when in near proximity to another device that has this NFC chip in it. And they're saying this is the future of mobile payments. It's turning your phone not only into, well, a phone and a music player and whatever the heck else it does now, but also your wallet. So putting more and more things into the phone. The Galaxy Nexus has the chip. There's been some debate whether the Droid Razr actually has one. It's not advertised as having one, and a teardown has revealed it has some of the drivers but doesn't appear to have the chip in it. So we're just going to go with no NFC chip in the Droid Razr for the time being. If that's proven wrong, please let me know. I'll make a correction here on the video. A couple other things to mention. I really wasn't sure what kind of slide to put them on, but a few other nifty things that some of the phones have that kind of can help further differentiate each other from the other. The Droid Razr has a Smart Actions app, and you can type into YouTube and kind of watch a video giving you a demo, but basically it's an app that kind of lets you do certain tasks based on location or battery life or any other type of action. For example, you can set it up so that if you plug headphones into the phone, it will open up your music player and turn the phone itself onto silent so that you're not interrupted during a workout. You can set it so that at night it just turns the phone to silent, so it goes into a silent mode so nobody can call you in the middle of the night or drunk text you or anything else like that. It also has Motocast. Well, actually, let me go back to the Smart Actions real quick here. One thing with Smart Actions, there's not something they're really making available that Motorola's not really making available to other phones. They're putting it on the market, even Droid Bionic users. There are other apps similar to it. They just don't quite have the The ease of use, I think the user interface and smart actions is kind of what makes it nicer than, say, apps like Tasker. Well, I would say Tasker is probably more powerful and even more customizable. It's not as user-friendly, but it is in the Android market if you're interested in something that will give you a similar functionality, just a little bit more of a learning curve is all. It also has Motocast on it, which is for streaming images, photos, music, whatever you want to your phone from your computer. It's thin. It does have that kind of sexy thin form factor to it. You can see it in the picture here. And just announced it does come in white or black, and I put up the white version of the phone below, so you can see it there. You can see it's not completely white, but it does have that white edges on it. The Galaxy Nexus, couple of things that differentiate it. It has a gyroscope, which is one of those things that helps the screen orient faster if you're tilting, and it is also fantastic for games that use that. So if you're playing games that like a gyroscope, gyroscopes are way better than the accelerometer when they're called for. And it runs stock ice cream sandwich, Android ice cream sandwich. All right, Motorola and HTC and pretty much all the other manufacturers put their own, build their own kind of unique experience on top of Android. So if you want what Google wants you to experience and how they imagine their operating system working, you're going to want to go with something in the Nexus line. So the Galaxy Nexus is the newest of these, and it tends to stay up to date because you don't have to wait for the manufacturer to finish making all their touches on it. It runs stock, so you can just stick it right on there. All right, as far as price goes, both the same price. You're going to pay $299 with 2-year contract if you get it from Verizon. If you want to shop around, especially with new service, you can definitely find it cheaper, and you can find some places willing to give you a discount as well. And I'll put a link in the description below for the page on gpsmaestro.com where we've put together who's selling it more cheaply than going directly through Verizon. So if you wanted to get a discount on it, I've seen some places offering one or the other for as low as $150 with new service only, though. That's kind of the one caveat. Most of us already have service if we're thinking about upgrading to these. But if you're switching, definitely worth checking out. Alright, so that is the Galaxy Nexus and the Droid Razr. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video as much as I enjoyed making it for you. If you have any questions, feel free to post in the comments or anything like that. And be sure to check us out at gpsmaestro.com if you haven't already done so. Alright guys, take care, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.